Alright guys, I am off to work. So, I'm not driving the Montecarlo today, not because I don't want to. She's a driver. But somebody in the neighborhood doesn't appreciate me driving my car to work every day. And we're not sure who it is. Now, I have the loudest vehicle on the street out of our performance enthusiasts. So this guy has something under his cover behind me that's really not anything special for sound, even though he has a cool older car. But it ain't as badass as that car right there. So, this is my path. This is my path to work. And then he has the second loudest vehicle on it, which is that one back there, straight piped Jeep SRT. And then she has a SS with a Flowmaster on it, which is the mildest. So we have three. So somebody on this path, now I don't let it idle for a long time, and it's on the converter a little bit, and I don't care. Is he? No. So this is where he was sitting yesterday morning. So somebody on this path doesn't like it. Well, I don't give a shit. You're going to hear this car until I can't drive it. That means rain or snow. So it was meant to drive in the cold and in the heat. There's a fire department, but they're not going to complain. So somebody around here doesn't like it, and I don't give a shit. So when I saw the undercover, the UC they call it, saw undercover at the corner there in an unmarked car, and this is my path to work. And now this guy has a hot rod here, but his hot rod looks good, but it's not loud. And then you see, this is it. So somebody called the police department and filed a noise complaint, which is completely fine. But you're allowed to make noise. So that's where they're wrong. So if I was revving my car in front of their house or something like that, then they have an issue. They're sitting there idling for a long time, then they have an issue. But the ordinance for noise, and they could look it up, you're allowed to make as much noise as you want. So I think 9 o'clock at night. So of course they had to respond. So after him sitting past 8 o'clock there, because I didn't take my race car to work, I took my neighbor's car that I was servicing, which is a Nissan 350Z, and it's super quiet. He shows up at the house, and April's out front working on the lawn, and he was asking some questions and blah 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 blah, and then she's like, "That's the car right there. He didn't drive it to work today. He took our neighbor's car in for service." And he's like, "Well, it was an anonymous complaint, and we don't know who it is." He's like, "But, don't worry about it. It's up to us if we want to, write you a ticket or all that stuff." Well, it's going to be pretty hard for you to justify writing me a ticket on a vehicle that's an antique. So 1986 or a classic, doesn't require any inspection anymore. And the noise ordinance is in effect. So not in effect. So it's not, and there's a time frame that you can make noise. So you have to be able to make noise when people are going to work. That's going to mean, music and heavy equipment and construction workers and blah 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 blah. So, and that's the same shit that goes in our neighborhood. Like, we have a bunch of people who moved into the neighborhood who are partiers, right? And then we didn't really have partiers 10 years ago. Now we have partiers that are partying, making lots of noise, drinking, playing loud music all night long. And you know what? They're allowed to do that in the time frames that it's allowed for the noise ordinance. So, and even if they go a little past it, it doesn't bother me. I go upstairs and I go to sleep. But, if it got to the point to where it bothered me, I'd have to, exercise my right to say, hey, they're outside the noise ordinance, call the police department and make them do their job. But, I haven't. And nobody in the neighborhood has. So, let me tell you, the partiers, it's loud, you can hear it down the block, and no one's called the cops on them. But when I hear my hot rod, and they call the police department and register a complaint, which is fine. The cop's like, well, just go about your business and do your thing. And the next time that they call us, we're going to find their location. We're going to go over and talk to them and say, listen, there's nothing we can do about it. The car's registered, insured. I have a driver's license. And that's the way it goes. So we're going to find out, because it's not going to stop me from driving my hot rod on the roads. I built that car to drive on the street, and there's no inspection, there's no emissions, so they can't say, I'm driving an unregistered or uninspected vehicle, because it doesn't require inspection. And it does have sound control devices on it. It's just not. It's not sound controlled, and I don't think they have any equipment to test how loud my car is, other than their ears. So, care less at that point. So the officer was pretty cool. After he's getting paid to sit there, so he could have been doing more for the community than sitting there trying to find somebody who has a loud car, who's just going to work and doing his due diligence every day, and but yeah, he could be fighting crime, he could be investigating crackheads and theft at Walmart, but somebody in the community said the car's too loud, and he had to spend 3 hours of his day waiting for a vehicle to drive by him that never happened. All right, guys, I'm getting to work. See ya.